Welcome to Two and a Half Brains. It's been a little while since we've been on the air, but we're here to talk to you and we're going to go through our Major League Baseball playoff preview and prediction. How much more alliteration can we get? So we're going to talk all about it, the season, how it went. There's only 60 games. It was a quick season and a lot of craziness. We got some stuff way right, some stuff way wrong, and we're going to talk all about it, and then we're going to give you a quick preview and predict what we think is going to happen in this playoffs. Full disclosure, we have seen some of it. We are recording it pretty much on the first game or so we kind of have an idea, but it actually hasn't shaken our opinions at all on what we've seen. We both pretty much have been and we're pretty close in lockstep too, which is a little bit annoying. But be sure to subscribe to get all the updates. We're going to have a lot more coming. This is probably another baseball show, at least for a while. We have some other fun stuff coming up, so make sure you subscribe to get all that. You can tweet me directly at YoGrabAGab. You can tweet Jessica at
JessT820.
Awesome. You can also email the show at papermodeproductions@gmail.com and like on Facebook, facebook.com/papermodeproductions. Other than that, I do want to talk a little bit about what's coming up. We have Jessica's show coming up. What's that?
Masked Singer Season 4.
Perfect. Mm-hmm. So we'll be recording that, the first episode probably in the next couple days.
Yeah.
Getting that out soon.
A little behind on things.
Yep.
Not used to new TV coming out.
Right. It's been a little minute. We're in our home office, the studio, if you will.
Yes, my daily life.
Yes. There's a beautiful painting of Jessica that Jessica made behind us.
Yes.
So we're gonna talk about that. We also have Amazing Race coming out soon, starting in October here, just in a couple days. So we're gonna have a cast preview come up with that. Give Mr. B back on the show and go over all that with him as well. And Jessica is, of course, welcome to join us as well if she'd like to. We'll see. Have to maybe, grease her palm a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Give her some. I'll give her some of our profits on the show.
Okay, giant goose egg.
So that's all coming up as well. So be sure to subscribe if you miss any of that. Again, Amazing Race cast preview coming up, and then Masked Singer first episode coming up as well in the next couple of days. So be sure to subscribe so you get all that. It's a lot coming up soon, and we want to have you be there right along with us for all of it. Sound good?
Sure.
All right, awesome. So, Jessica's enthused.
So enthused.
So, before we go into the playoffs and our predictions, I think our predictions actually may have been 100% the same.
Really?
It's pretty close.
I figured
it's
they probably
pretty close.
are. Yeah.
But let's go ahead and let's talk about the season. What your thoughts were, what we got right, what you thought was right, what you thought was going to happen, what is what happened, what you thought was going to happen, isn't what happened, and kind of where we went with our predictions to start the season at the last show we did.
Well, the Yankees did not clinch the division, but I mean Tampa's been killing it. Like I said before, the Yankees are screwed if they win and screwed if they lose because everybody's going to give me shit about it anyways, so it kind of doesn't matter to me that they win or lose this year. They're my team, but it's a shortened season, so people are going to have different views on who wins this one, depending on who it is. I'm trying to think of some of the predictions. I mean, there was one or two that you had clinching the division that didn't happen. I mean, Houston making it to the playoffs, I think was actually going to happen. I'm pretty happy with who's made it so far, except for, never mind. Yes, the Indians, but that's neither here nor there at this point.
Yeah, for sure. I predicted Minnesota would win the division, Cleveland would be number 2. That actually is what happened. Chicago ended up being the third team in the first wild card to get in, but Chicago actually was winning the division until a couple of games before the season was over. Mm-hmm. They actually were winning that division, so that didn't exactly happen the way we thought it would, but it ended up kind of coming out in the wash. I didn't think the White Sox would be the third team. I thought maybe the Jays would get in there, which they did. I thought maybe the Royal. I don't know. I really didn't know who else would be in there. Maybe Boston would sneak in. But I didn't really see the White Sox being that team.
Yeah.
I thought maybe the Angels. I thought maybe the Rangers.
Right.
But I didn't really see the White Sox. But their pitching has been just lights out. Giolito's a monster, and they've been hitting well with Abreu. More RBIs than games played. Insane. If that was a full season, he would have had about 180 RBIs. Bananas.
Yeah, I was really hoping the Phillies would make it in, but And
I
then
would
Washington. What
yeah.
the heck happened there?
Yeah, went from first to last.
Yeah.
But the Red Sox did that. They were first and last and first again. So it can happen.
And now last.
And now last again. Well, they have, in their defense, they've never won a World Series in the 20s of a century, or the 30s, or the 40s, or the 50s, or the 60s, or the 70s, or the 80s, or the 90s. So
you're never gonna see them win again in your life.
Until I'm like 112 years old, I won't see another World Series.
So you're pretty much just gonna stay alive to see the last World Series of theirs.
They've never won after the 20s of a century, ever. So.
Sorry about your luck.
So the first 20 years of a century, they kill it. Mm-hmm. The next 80 years of a century, they are terrible. So.
Guess you're finding a new team.
We'll see what happens.
That's probably.
I'm upset that they're going to let Ron Renicky go. They were trying to lose and they lost. Now they're letting the manager go. How stupid is that? They did acquire some good young talent, but they're going to let Jackie Bradley go. They need to revamp their bullpen, their starting pitching. Everything needs to be revamped. They need more pitching. Period. And they're not going to be competitive until they have pitching. But
Pish posh pitching.
Pitching, yeah. Well, just bash home runs like everybody, and you have to pitch. I was a little bit surprised. The Angels were close again. The Angels, I think, as per usual, just missed. The Mariners, as always, the longest playoff drought in history of sports, still a thing. Mariners missed again. They were the second team away from getting it again. They would have, if there was 9 teams that got in, they would have got it, or 10 or whatever it was. They were right there again, but just fell short. They expanded the playoffs this year, and they expanded the playoffs, and they still finished just out of it again.
Yeah, well, we know that feeling when it comes to hockey for this year, so I don't want to get into that stuff.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
In the National League, I thought the Phillies would be better. Joe Girardi's at the helm, and they're still having the same problems they have in the last couple of years. They got all this talent, and they can't put it together. Right. Pitching, they need to pitch though. Again, their hitting is pretty good with Gregorius and Real Muto. They've had some injury problems.
Yeah.
You got Bryce Harper and all these guys, but their pitching still isn't where it needs to be. They really don't have a bona fide ace, Arrieta, I guess, but they need more out of Nola and those guys to really carry them to the next level. The Mets I thought would be pretty good. I'm surprised they didn't do better. Mm-hmm. They seem to have the pitching, but I guess guys opting out, getting hurt, whatever happens, they get hurt every year like everybody else. The Braves were great again. I didn't expect the Marlins to make the playoffs. I thought they'd be last place in that division, and I didn't expect the Nationals to be last place.
Yeah.
The Reds I thought could sneak in, which they did. The Brewers I thought would be better than they were. They did sneak in, but just barely. I said the Cardinals maybe, but because you can't ever bet against the Cardinals, and of course they got in as well. So it was really interesting. Most teams who I thought were on the bubble did well. The teams a couple teams came out of nowhere. I thought Oakland would be pretty good. I thought Houston would be better, but Oakland is even without one of their best hitters, they've still been really solid. And they're again, they're the Rays of the West for sure. They're a bunch of no-name guys, nobody really knows who they are. They just work hard and hit the ball and pitch.
Houston's cursed, so it's fine.
Oh yeah, I mean that's we'll talk about them in a little bit here, but any other kind of what we got right, we got wrong. I mean, we can go back and watch the tape again, but I think we pretty much talked about everything that we had to talk about.
Yeah. I don't think we need to beat a dead horse with it.
No, not at all. And I think this season we knew it'd be a little bit weird. There's a lot of
Well, yeah.
I mean, DHs for both leagues.
Players that sat out.
Right, players opted out of the season. There's extra inning games went 7 innings like they do in the minors. They started with a ghost runner on second base in extra innings. Right after double headers and started 7 innings. They have the ghost runner on second base, which they have. There's something that we're talking about doing before to kind of shorten extra inning games instead of having 14 inning games. A little expanded rosters. It was some stuff that was a little bit weird. Basically, this was the year that MLB threw everything at the wall to see what they liked,
right,
and see what they want to keep going forward with. I think some of it's really cool. Some of it, not so much. But overall, we learned some stuff this season, and I'll be curious to see kind of where they go with it next year. If they kind of learn from it, if they implement some of the stuff that they did this year. I don't mind the expanded playoffs. I do like the best of 3 wild card instead of just the one game. The one game is very exciting, but one game. You work really, really hard to go out in one game. I think it's not enough. I think you at least have to lose 2 to get knocked out.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
You said they expanded the playoff.
Well, it used to. Yeah. So what it was forever, it was the division winners then 1 wild card. A couple years ago, they did division winners and 2 wild cards, and the two wild card teams play each other. Mm-hmm. The winner of that game plays the top seed in the playoffs, and then the other 2 play each other. This year, they expanded it from that to 2 division winners each in the playoffs. So the top 2 teams from each division get in, and then 2 wild cards. So it's instead of being 4 or 5, it's now 8 from each league. So it's like hockey. It was 16 teams in it, and they pared down.
I mean, I don't think they need to expand the baseball season when it's actual normal, because that's enough as it is. Unless they want to shorten the season, because why on earth? Don't get me wrong, baseball's swell, but why do they need 165 games for a season?
Yeah.
I mean, hockey has 82. Mm-hmm. They don't need that many.
So I would
shorten it a little bit.
I would be all for it. And the reason they have so many games is because you play every day. You have the days off.
I understand, but it's a lot to watch.
I would say I agree. I would say if they pared it down to 150.
150. Go 125.
Okay. That's even if they go 150 and they just expand the playoffs by two games. Mm-hmm. You're losing, but of course it's revenue and all that stuff too. So
obviously,
and the players aren't going to do that because hey, my stats. One thing that was created too, they've hit as many home runs. They've hit basically as many home runs as they do in a normal season. I mean, not quite, but if it was a normal season played, they would have crushed it. Mm-hmm. They would have crushed the record for most home runs in a season across the majors.
Not just Yankees alone.
No, I mean the Dodgers have hit basically 2 home runs a game.
I know the Dodgers.
I mean everybody's hitting home runs. It's the ball's flying, and it's whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't really know. I'm a pitching first type of guy always, and I like good defense. So I'd rather say a 1-0 game than a 12-11 game. But either way, I think they've tried some things. I don't like all of it. But for the most part, it's been entertaining.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
Just watch out for those flying balls.
Yeah. A lot of cardboard cubs getting nailed. It's been an interesting time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, how remiss would we be if we didn't talk about it? We had a hometown team for the first time.
Oh yeah, the Buffalo Blue Jays, if you will. That was pretty awesome. We drove by it a couple times and we saw the stadium all fixed up, and it's just weird to see them here. Toronto, Buffalo, everybody says we're in Canada anyway, so it made sense. But it's so sad that no one could be at the games because they're right here. We could have saw our favorite teams in our hometown, and that would have been amazing. It's exciting because one of the local restaurant chefs, which is an amazing Italian restaurant, catered for the Yankees. I saw they advertised that. I'm sure they cater for other people too, but it was just pretty cool to have a professional baseball team in our midst.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
I would love. I mean, we didn't have to get a new stadium. There'd have to be a lot of things done to it, but I'd love to have a permanent team here. Obviously,
it'd be pretty great.
I think. The major leagues, hockey's expanding like crazy. With they're adding the 32nd team. Major League Baseball hasn't added a team in a while, and they've had the only team they added was the Nationals moving from Montreal. That wasn't an expansion. That was just a move.
There's just so many, so I can imagine they don't want to, but
there's only 30. Hockey has 32.
Yeah, no. I know, but they play less games.
Oh, for sure. No doubt. And they have to redo. I mean, you can't. It's hard. They had it for a while where they had 16 National League teams, 14 American League teams, and it was screwy how they play each other. And now it's it's now it's 15 and 15, and it's 5 in each division. It's even. It makes sense to do it. With 31 teams or 32 teams, it kind of gets a little messed up how you're going to do the divisions and offense. So I 100% get why the logistics make sense. Yeah. Or just move Toronto here permanently. That's fine too.
Right. We'd be perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, move Toronto here permanently. I mean, whatever. The Jays fans are great, and they can come down here. That's fine. Let them come here.
I mean, if you look at the Buffalo Bisons, it does bring in people, but it doesn't bring in as many as MLB, the National League, and you don't know how many people it'd bring, but I imagine it'd bring a lot of people because almost everyone I talk to wishes that we could have went to games.
For sure, 100%, 1000%. The people, the argument against it for a long time was, well, Buffalo's not a huge city, can't really support that, especially the Bills, and blah blah. But the thing is, Bills and Sabres don't, the Bisons or the Blue Jays in this case don't play the same time as the Sabres. Yeah. They don't really play a lot when the Bills play either. It's pretty much summer's pretty much open here, Buffalo, without any other sports teams. And they also say, oh, they can watch them on TV while they pay to go see it. Because why do you pay to go see sports? You got the Yankees. You're in the Yankees division. Mm-hmm. You're gonna play the Yankees 18 times a year. You're gonna play 9 times a year at home.
Stop talking about it.
The Red Sox 9 times a year at home.
Well, we don't care about that.
Right. You're gonna see these players right there. Yeah. I mean,
I could get behind the Blue Jays.
It'd be amazing. It'd be great. It'd be great. I love it. But either way, this is not what we're here to talk about. Let's go ahead. And also too, sorry. Dream.
Yeah, exactly.
They had the Sabres. I don't know if you knew this on the local Buffalo radio station. Mm-hmm. They had a Sabres reporter covering the Blue Jays. So they had post game shows and everything. It was so awesome. Mm-hmm. I want it so bad. But I would genuinely probably switch my allegiance if they got a team.
I know. I was just gonna ask you that, and I could hear it in your voice that you would. Bring baseball here. Let's get rid of the Red Sox in this house. Would you sell all the stuff that you have?
Maybe. But the best part is all the players, we just watched them last year. They were all on the minor league system in our city last year.
I saw them. We went to a couple games last year. Yankees were...
Craig's kid and Dante's kid and Lourdes' kid and all them. Vlad's
all
kid.
their children.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vlad's kid, yeah. So. We didn't see him in the minor. We saw him in the major.
So,
yeah.
But I think it'd be really awesome.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it'd be exciting.
So, we're here finally to talk about baseball playoffs. Now we talked about the season, how awesome it was, and the ups and downs they had. We'll talk about the playoffs, what we think's gonna happen, who we think's gonna win, and what we're gonna kind of go from there. Mm-hmm. If you're okay with that, I want to kind of start with each series. Say who's going to win, and we'll go on the line, and we'll kind of, we'll circle back to this. I'll give my prediction, you can give your prediction. I think they're going to be pretty similar, though. Right. So the first series was the 1 and 8 in the American League. The first seed, Tampa Bay Rays. 8 seed, Toronto Blue Jays. Who did you have winning going into this?
I had Tampa. I would have preferred the Blue Jays, but I know Tampa was going to win anyways, and yeah.
And I have a lot of friends who are Jays fans and family members who are Jays fans, and they're saying that the pitching matchup was bad. They didn't like who was starting. Hyun-Jin Ryu's game 2, blah blah. I think the Jays are a good team. I think they are about a year or so away from being the Rays. I think the Rays are the Jays just 2 years into the future. I really do. Yeah. I think the Yankees are still going to be there. I think Boston's got a lot of work to do. I think Baltimore's got a lot of work to do. And I think really it's going to be the young Jays and the young Rays who, if they keep their players, which we know they don't do that, but if they do keep their players, they're both going to be, I think, in the running for a good 10, 12 years. Mm-hmm. I really see it. The Rays are just, again, they have one more year of playoff experience. They've got a little bit more. They got a little bit more experience on their team. I think that's really the only difference. I think they're just they're the Jays with 2 more years of experience, and I think that's why the Rays would take the division as well. I agree. Yeah, they won the division, but why they take that series?
Yeah,
I agree. What's the next series there? Unless you have something else to add.
No, because I need you to say it because my bracket starts with the next one. So I just kind of looked at it, but
Indians and Yankees.
Of course, Yankees. I hate Cleveland, so it was going to be the Yankees, 100%.
I was not as it's going to be Yankees all the way. I thought Cleveland had a shot.
Because you like Cleveland, you commie.
However, if history taught us anything, and as a student of history, they got rid of Corey Kluber. He was one of the best pitchers they've ever had in their history. Because he couldn't pitch in the playoffs. So they got Shane Bieber, the new ace. Savali Klutko, all these good pitchers. But what do we know about Cleveland pitching?
Sucks.
They disappear in the playoffs. They don't show up in the playoffs. Cleveland refuses to pitch in the playoffs. They will just not pitch. They won't. They are terrible in the playoffs at pitching. Their hitting's not great. Never has been great. Never probably will be great. They get by.
With a little help from their friends.
Yes, and those friends are pitchers who don't help them in the playoffs. Who don't show up in the playoffs.
They don't get by.
So they don't get by. And that they've been. I mean, the year they went to the World Series against the Cubs, they pitched well. They had Trevor Bauer. They did pretty well. But that was really the only time they've ever pitched well in the playoffs. And since then and before then, they don't pitch in the playoffs. They lose to the Astros in the first round every year because they don't pitch in the playoffs, or lose to the Yankees every year because they don't pitch in the playoffs.
That's fine.
Pitching doesn't show up in the playoffs. The Yankees will win the series. I'm for sure, no doubt. I know you say the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got the first two series.
Yeah.
The first two series. The third series is the Minnesota Twins. So it was the 1-seeded Tampa Bay Rays against the 8-seeded Jays. 1 seed wins. 2nd-seeded Indians against 7th-seeded. 4-5. 4th-seeded. Yeah, 4th-seeded Indians against 5th-seeded Yankees. It's 4-5 matchup.
Cut that crap out. You say 7. They're 5 at least.
2 and 7 is Oakland and Chicago, but the 1-8 matchup. No, 3-6 matchup. Sorry, 3-6 matchup. I'm all over the place. 3-6 matchup is Minnesota against Houston.
Yes.
Who do you got now?
Houston.
Yeah.
Because the Twins always fall apart. You always complain about the Twins all the time. So I know the Twins aren't making it through, even though I'd rather them make it through.
Oakland's kind of the same way. It's like Oakland always chokes in the playoffs. Cleveland chokes in the playoffs. But no team, and I mean no team, chokes worse than the Minnesota Twins in the playoffs. OMG. I swear, growing up as a kid, it would be first round, Yankees Twins, because Twins win the division, Yankees win the division. Twins score like 2 runs in the course of 3 games and lose, and are out and get swept. Absolutely insane. Mm-hmm. No way, no chance. Twins, they're always they're always a pretty good team. They're always one of the top teams. They hit a lot of home runs. They pitch pretty well, and they just get to the playoffs and they just go to sleep. Mm-hmm. They work really hard to get there just to lose and get swept. And I can't remember the last time they won a playoff game, let alone a series in the playoffs. They just don't. They go to bed and they sleep the whole time.
That sounds nice.
Houston will take that series, no doubt.
Yeah.
What's next? This one I had the most trouble with, the 2-7 matchup.
Oakland versus the White Sox.
Yep, so the 2-seeded A's against the 7th-seeded White Sox. This one has given me the most trouble. What do you got?
Yeah, because I scratched mine off a couple times. I am going with Oakland on that one.
With Oakland. Mm-hmm. So, full disclosure, game 1, I did see Lucas Giolito perfect through 6. He is a monster. They have some real solid hitters. Abreu is one of the best players in the game. I think the team of Oakland is better than the team of Chicago. And over a long season, multiple series, I think Oakland definitely wins. Chicago, the short format really helped them. They could pitch, they could slug, and they'd have to sustain anything long term. Mm-hmm. I do think they're a much better team than we thought. And I think they are only really a few pieces away from really being a formidable force in the division, especially, or in the league. I do think Oakland will take it. I do think it's going to go. I do think it'll go distance. I think it'll go all 3 games. I think it's really it's tough. If Giolito could go, if it was a 5-game series, you can get Giolito 2 games. You don't have to find 1. Mm-hmm. I think that's good, but I think they're pitching. If they have to pitch three guys and they can't afford to lose 2. Mm-hmm. Like if they can afford to lose 2 and then win 3. Okay, but I think their pitching is not good enough to win 2 games. I think their pitching is only going to win 1 game in a 3-game series against Oakland.
I thought ours weren't going to match up, as you saw me jotting mine down, so I was surprised that you went with Oakland.
It was tough. That's the one I'm definitely not sure on. I would have said Oakland for sure, but Cleveland's pitching Chicago's pitching is good. I just don't think. I think the A's are again. I think the A's are the race of the West. Mm-hmm. They have a bunch of young guys who are going to be good for a while, and I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be a force for a while. Now let me ask you: do you want to go to the West, or do you want to stay and go through more of the? Sorry, do you want to go to the National? Or do you want to stay more of the?
We'll just finish one side and go to the other side because as we're going in, we don't have to talk about it as much because we already kind of broke it down. But it's just the matchup.
For sure. So then the final 4 teams in the American League. This is now would be the division series, which is a game of best of 5. So first 2 and 3 between Tampa and the Yankees. For that matchup, what do we got?
It pains me to say this. It really, really hurts. But I think Tampa's going to take over the Yankees. Just because I know their history in the playoffs, at least the past couple years, and their pitching falls apart. Garrett Cole kind of fell apart a little bit this season. Don't know what that's all about, but I do think Tampa's going to take it. I'm sure that decision.
I predicted the same.
Yeah,
I predicted Tampa did. I think I could definitely see Tampa. I could see the Yankees doing. There's nothing the Yankees do, especially the playoffs, would surprise me if they get knocked out in the first round or if they go all the way to the end and win. None of those that would surprise me. I predicted them to win the division, but Tampa just had depth. They were consistent, and the thing with Tampa, their manager's changing the game, the way it's managed. I mean, Kevin Cash. Hats off to him. He's got a bunch of. He's a no-name guy. He's got a bunch of no-name coaches around him, a bunch of no-name players, and they're winning. And they won. They're the top seed in the American League, and they I love how he does it. Instead of having one starter, you go 6 innings, and you have another guy. He's like, all right, let's throw this guy in there for 3 innings, and then this guy's good against them, so put that guy in there for 2 innings, and then this guy do 1 inning. It doesn't have like a set like you have to do these guys. It's just whoever is the best at this time can do their thing, and we'll go from there. And he's definitely changing the way the game is played for sure, and the way the game is managed. And I really like it. I really like the idea of the opener, that kind of thing. Starting one or 2 innings, and bring somebody else in, and that way they're always staying fresh too. You're not going Snell. Sure, Blake Snell will go. He'll go 4, 5, 6 innings, and he'll be done for a couple days to rest. But other than that, and Morton got hurt. He was kind of in the same boat. But you don't need to rest a guy for 4 or 5 games, or 4 or 5 days after he pitched, because he's not pitching good. You pitch him this one, he takes a day off, comes back and gets 2 or 3 more innings, and you're good. And you don't have to burn him for a whole week. I think the Rays don't hit amazingly well, so if they get to a slugfest and pitching isn't there, the Yankees will bludgeon them, and they will take it. I think if you want to say who's in the best spot, Cole's been pretty good. He hasn't been completely dominant, but he can be. They've had some injuries. Paxton, they've had Sevy's out all season, and they've had plenty of guys hurt. So if they can keep their pitching, if the pitching can be good and keep the other teams down, their hitting will take over, and that they definitely can always outside. Especially with Judge and Sam back. Mr. Glass, yeah. Hopefully he stays healthy. Next, we'll talk about the next series there. So I will go on Tampa again. How about Oakland and Houston? What do you got? This one was tough. Only reason I'm going to say what I'm going to say is because based on the season series, it wasn't close. They played each other, I think, 9 times or whatever. It was all when the West played the West in the American League and the National League, the East American League and the National League, same thing. They didn't travel much. They basically played their own division and then the division of the other league. So it was to limit traveling. So they played each other still a good amount, and Oakland killed Houston, killed them. I think Houston won 2 games the whole season against Oakland. Yeah, and Oakland just dominated. So Oakland isn't, again, they're not a great team in the playoffs. They do tend to choke. So I can see them doing it. In that case, it's Houston and Tampa, or Houston and the Yankees. But I'm going to make my prediction, Tampa first. Perfect. Last, who is going to the American? So now that leads to the American League Championship Series, which is the best of 7, first to 4. And who do you got winning the best of 7 American League Championship Series? I agree. So we were spot spot on. Bailey agrees too. We were spot on from beginning to end. So I think Tampa again goes to the World Series. Actually, a lot of people predicting Tampa going to the World Series. The ones he doesn't always do it, especially in the way things are going in sports. The one team doesn't always go there. There you go. The one seed, and I know in hockey, right? The one was Philly, and the other one was Vegas, and both got knocked out in the semis. So we'll see. But I think Tampa gets through the American. Any other thoughts?
No, I think we're good.
Let's go to the National League. First series, the 1 and the 8, the Dodgers versus the Brew Crew.
Dodgers, obviously.
I think the Brewers just barely got in. The Dodgers are just a juggernaut. The Dodgers are just. I've been a little disappointed in their pitching actually. They won 42 games. They went 42-17 or 42-18, which is ridiculous. They far away the best record in the baseball, but I mean, maybe Tampa was close, I guess, but they're the best team, no doubt. Their pitching has been a little bit suspect, but they can just. I mean, they have everybody hits like 10 home runs, so it's they're just so stacked. That's hard for anybody to keep.
Yep.
Right. What's next?
I don't know. You're the one that's supposed to know these. It was St. Louis against whom?
So I think it's a 4 and the 5 seed, right?
Yeah.
The next one there.
Yes.
So the 4 or 5 in the National League, I believe. Let me double check.
I didn't write it all down.
The 4-5 matchup was, I think. It was the Cardinals, right?
Was it?
Yeah. So the four of the Padres, they were the second team in the West against the second team in the Central, which was the Cardinals. Who do you got?
St. Louis Cardinals.
You got the Cardinals or the Padres?
I have the Cardinals.
I have the Cardinals also.
Really? Oh my god.
Yeah. The Cardinals.
We didn't make our brackets together. If you watched me just write it down now, so.
Yeah, no, we didn't. Padres have been the best team they've had in a while. They've had the best season they've had in a while. I think they're going to be around for a while. They're adding pieces. They got Hosmer. They got Myers. They got Manny Machado. Their pitching's been a lot better. Yeah. They're really hitting their stride. I think they're going to be around for a while. But the Cardinals always find a way in the playoffs, and they always do things when they get in the playoffs. And I just don't see the Cardinals not getting knocked out in the first round. I think this will be a good learning experience for the Padres. I think they'll be back stronger next year. I don't see them making it through the first round, which is the best of 3. So the next one is let me see.
The Cubs versus
the Cubs and the Marlins.
Yeah.
The Marlins are, again, another young upstart team. I think the short format helped them as well. But I think last game of the season, Urania got hurt. He's their best pitcher. He got hurt the last game of the season in a throwaway game that was just for seeding. And I don't know.
Uranus.
The short format helped them. They had a couple good young arms that kept them. They were able to keep fresh. And I think you agree. The Cubs should make short for them, but it's always hard with these short. The short series are always hard to predict. The 1-game playoffs are hard to predict, and the 3-game series are hard to predict. So the shorter the series, the harder to predict because anything can happen. Somebody can get hurt, somebody can get hot, and now it's before you think it's over.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I think the Cubs statistically should win that series.
Yeah, Cubs for sure.
All right, and then the last one is the Braves and the Reds. Now again, the Braves were a team who were predicted to do well. They're the 2 seed. The Reds we thought maybe could sneak in the playoffs, and they did. They got the 7 seed. The Reds are again much improved. They have the pieces to contend. I think they could be around for a while. Again, one of the teams who are making the steps in the right direction to get back to dominance and being for a while. I mean, they won the National League Central a few times. The Reds were 2015-ish were really dominant. I mean, they were a team that were making playoffs constantly. Then it was the Pirates, then it was the Cardinals, then it was and it's been bouncing around. But the Reds have been irrelevant for a couple of years, and now I think they finally are starting to get back into prominence. But
I still think they're going to be irrelevant, and that Atlanta's going to move on.
I think Atlanta has too many young, talented pitchers, too many young, talented hitters, and I think the Braves do damage.
I knew you were going to pick the Braves as well.
So we will pick the Braves again. This is insane. This is crazy.
I I think our bracket's going to go the same then the rest of the way.
We'll see. The next matchup is the Dodgers versus the Cardinals. Right. What do you got for that?
I got the Dodgers, and I'm almost 99% positive that you picked the Dodgers too.
I did this bracket for the Perfect Bracket Challenge, and I
wish I would have done it.
The Dodgers and the Cardinals, again, both teams have playoff experience. The Dodgers have not really gotten over the hump. The Cardinals have been. The Cardinals, if you ask me who the best team in the 2010s were, it's the Cardinals. Really, since 2000, actually, since the turn of the century, the millennium, they won the World Series they lost the World Series in 2004. They went to the Championship Series in 2005 and lost. They won the World Series in 2006. They lost the World Series in they made the playoffs in 2007, knocked out. They won the World Series in 2012 or 2010, around there, and then they're 12, whatever, around there. 11. They won the World Series in 11. They lost in 13. So they've been to the World Series or to the Championship Series like 6 times in the last 20 years. That's no other team has done that. Even the Red Sox won 4 since that time. They've been terrible on the years they didn't win, right? So the Cardinals are probably the best team in the last 20 years. They've always been in it or around it every year. And this year, I think they're still a solid team. I still think the Dodgers will take them. I think the Dodgers were itching me too much.
Mookie's there.
Mookie,
boy.
Jacques Peterson, Cody Bellinger.
Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah, they have him. They resurrected him. It's pretty awesome.
I like how you don't even say anything. You're just like, yeah, shut up. Thanks.
I would never tell you to shut up, Jessica.
Yeah, right.
But they have, if you think about it, they have an American League MVP and an National League MVP on the same team, batting in the same lineup, and then they also have Max Muncy, who's amazing. They have, their lineup is stacked. Seager, come on, they're just insane. They're ridiculous. And even with Kershaw being the Alex Ovechkin of baseball, who could never get the championship, even though he's always one of the best players. Maybe he finally does, but we'll spoil. Then the other one that settles the championship series, again, the 5-game series, best of 5. The other championship division series, I should say, the other division series, best of 5, was Atlanta and the Cubs. The 2 seed of the Braves and the 3 seed of the Cubs. Who do you got?
I have the Cubs.
You have the Cubs.
I do.
The Braves have won games again. They've won playoff series, but they've gotten playoffs, and they haven't choked as bad as other teams, but they haven't really taken the next step yet. I think that next step is coming next year. And the Cubs take them. I really do. I think the 3 upset the 2, and the Cubs take them.
I agree.
So that leads us to the National League Championship Series, which is a best of 7, and we have the Dodgers and the Cubs.
Yes. I have the Cubs.
I have the Cubs. Oh my god.
We agree on something.
Oh my gosh. So I have the Cubs beating the Dodgers. I have an upset. 3 beating the 1, and I don't think it's going to be 2-1 in the final. I just don't see it happening. A lot of people are saying the Dodgers and Rays, and that's great. I think the Cubs have really solid pitching. They have the good hitting, and it's I think it's kind of set up for a team like the Cubs, who are solid. They have good bullpen. They have good starters, and they hit enough to do some damage. I really think that they're gonna surprise some people.
I agree. I think so as well.
So with that leads us to the World Series and our World Series prediction. We've got the Rays, the 1st seed of the American League, against the Cubs, the 3rd seed of the National League. Best of 7, winner take all, one team, the one World Series champion.
The one team to rule them all.
Exactly. We're gonna say it on 3.
Okay.
Who do you think's gonna win? I think the World Series champion will be the Rays' 1st or the Cubs' 2nd since 2000. Sorry, It'll be the Rays' first ever World Series.
Stop the drum roll because now it's lost.
They went to the World Series in 2009, 8. I think they went 08. I think they lost to the Phillies. They went to the World Series in 08. They lost. They've never won a World Series. They've been on a team for like maybe 20 years. So this would be their first. It would be the Cubs' second World Series since 1908. So definitely droughts for sure. That would be one of them.
What do you mean? The Cubs won recently.
Yeah, but once in 100 freaking total years. So this would be their second. 100.
Their second. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I did not understand where you were going with any of that, but okay.
So either way, first ever one for the Rays, or second one for the Cubs in 112 years.
Okay.
Jessica.
Yes.
You want to do a quick drum roll? We'll do it. On 3. Our World Series champion in 2020 is 1, 2, 3. Cubs. Wow. All right. So we both just cursed the Cubs. Sorry, Chicago.
Curse. We don't matter that much to curse them.
But we're never right. So if we both predict it, we're definitely both not gonna be right.
But if we both predict the same
Cubs,
thing,
go.
Oh God, you're gonna start singing it again.
I don't know. Hey Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today.
Go Cubs, go.
Exactly.
Yeah,
go Cubs.
You played it a million times one day.
I mean,
hey Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs gonna win today. And now it's gonna be in my head all night.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thanks.
I think. I mean, who hates the Cubs, right?
Nobody can hate the Cubs.
It'd be a good way to cap off end 2020 on a high note. Cubs win the World Series. Nobody's sad. And we go.
No one will be
sad.
sad.
The fans of the other team losing the World Series will be sad, but they'll get over it.
Tampa will be sad, but
they just won the Cup.
They'll be fine. I know they won
and
one. They
Tom Brady.
can't win 2. Oh yeah, I don't want to talk about it. They cannot. If Tampa wins
Titletown
everything this whole year, I'm really, really upset.
You know when Boston won the
not
Super
anymore.
Bowl
Now it's gonna be Tampa.
and baseball, and then they went to they went deep in the NBA, and then they went to the finals in hockey and lost in Game 7. Yeah. That's gonna be Tampa.
It's gonna pain
so
me
if 3
teams, Tampa becomes the new Boston, because I don't hate Tampa, but the Rays
So they have 3 teams again. It's exciting. I think Cubs do it. I think, hey Chicago, what do you say? Cubs are your World Series champions today. That's what I think happens. Indeed.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Any other thoughts on that before we wrap up?
No, I think they've all listened to us long enough.
For sure. I wanted to get a little video out. It's been a while. Been kind of just at home, nothing to do, nothing to watch, nothing to really talk about. So glad I got this out. I hope you liked it. Tell us what you think. Tell us if you were way off or were spot on. Definitely subscribe and give us your thoughts. Comment below. Share the post. Any sports fans, send it along and they'll tell us we could be wrong. We could be wrong now. The game could be over now. We could be wrong. Right now. But either way, it was fun. It was something that we could watch, to get through all this. With football starting now, everything like that, it's finally, hopefully, we're getting some normal life back. We
shall see what happens.
Jessica, how do you find you on Twitter?
JustT820.
All right, JustT820. You can find me on Twitter at YoGrabbaGabba. Subscribe, share the post, email show pavementroadproductions@gmail.com. And then you can also, find us on Facebook, facebook.com/pavementproductions. Coming up, Jessica.
What do you say? I'm gonna win today.
What do you say, Jessica?
I was doing background music.
What do you say?
Go Cubs, go.
Okay.
One team to rule them all.
And what's coming up next? What's coming next?
Masked Singer.
Masked Singer. So we have Masked Singer. We have our Amazing Race cast preview as well coming up soon. We're gonna find time to general. If you guys could subscribe and just get us so we can get ads and stuff. I'd love to be able to just retire from my full-time job and just do this permanently, and that'd be awesome. And then we can have content all the time, every day coming out for you. It would be really sweet. We wouldn't have to worry about I have to work, so I can't get the video out on time. Blah 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 blah. Just get us ads and get us lots of money, so we can just do the whole time and not have to worry about it.
They don't want us to do stuff that much.
Okay, so.
Okay, sorry. Just don't listen to me.
Subscribe, send us your feedback, comment. Masked Singer coming up soon. We have our first recap with Jessica and talk all about our predictions and all that fun stuff. We're going to have our Amazing Race Cast preview as well soon with Mr. Beback, who's also a Cubs fan. Yankees and Cubs. And that'll be a fun time too. Anything else?
Hey Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today.
That's all. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye.